Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today with my hot take on the Steam Winter Sale. I've done these types of videos before. I go through the entire sale and give you my personal recommendations. Now, if there are some games that you really like that I didn't recommend, you should check out my older sale videos because there's a good chance that I did recommend them. Classics like The Witcher 3, KOTOR, and so on. Anyway, maybe you got some Christmas money or you've been making stacks and you're looking to make it rain on this Steam sale. I've got you covered. Let's get into the suggestions. First thing that stuck out to me when I was scrolling down was Yakuza 0. The Yakuza series is rising in popularity, but if you have not hopped on board yet, now is the time. Yakuza is one of the most unapologetically fun games I have played in years. I started off with Kiwami personally, which is a remake of the first game. Zero serves as a prequel and is an excellent starting point for everybody. For $13, you cannot ask for much more. The game has incredibly quirky and hilarious writing, superb character building, and some of the most fun, brutal, brawler-style combats I have ever experienced. It's amazing that it's taken this long for the series to really start receiving its spurt in popularity, but now is a better time than ever to become a Yakuza fan, especially with all of these remakes coming out of the older games on the PS2 and making them better than ever. Trust me, give it a whirl, you'll really enjoy it. Also sitting right next to Yakuza on my screen here is Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. I picked this game up for about $15 on my PS4 used at GameStop, so $9 on the PC, that's a really good deal. The only thing I will say though is that I appreciated Dragon's Dogma upon its initial launch, and anytime I've tried to go back, it just hasn't clicked with me as well. There are some dated mechanics here, so don't expect the most superb title, but there's a lot here that people will appreciate if you like a Monster Hunter game, for example, as you work hard with your team to take down big boss-like creatures. There's a lot of role-playing mechanics in the terms of how you build your character ability-wise, with multiple jobs and powers and all this different type of stuff. But yeah, it's a lot of monster hunting, completing quests, and if you're into that type of, I guess, busy work, then this game will be right up your alley. Sunset Overdrive, $16. If you have not experienced that game and maybe you played something like Spider-Man on the PS4, this is a game you should definitely give a rip. A lot of the movement that people adored in Spider-Man came straight from Sunset Overdrive as they add stuff like double jumps, wall runnings, wall bounces, and so on. It has a lot of the wacky weapons and gadgets that you'd see in a Ratchet and Clank game here. It also has a lot of interesting factions. It's post-apocalyptic, so there's a lot going on here, and naturally, because it's an Insomniac game, there is a lot of goofy stuff going on too. So if you like humor, fast-paced action, crazy weapons, amazing traversal, and an open world, this is right up your alley. For 16 bucks, it's a no-brainer if you've never played it before. I don't think the PC edition comes with any special crazy changes that the base game didn't have, so do keep that in mind when purchasing because it was just brought, I believe, to the PC. Hello, Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc, and Danganronpa 2, $10 each. Okay, I talked about this in a Fallout 76 video of all things very briefly. Let me go on a tangent about Danganronpa and why you should at least give the first one a chance for $10. Now, I know sometimes Japanese style games aren't up a lot of people's alleys. Maybe it's not in your wheelhouse. I totally understand that, but this has the best writing of any game I've played in the past couple of years. It is fantastic because it's a visual novel, so the writing has to be good, and the game is very aware of that. So they nail that to a T, building some of the best characters you will ever meet in a series, and on top of that, telling you a complex and interesting story. The premise of Danganronpa is that you're trapped in a school with 16 other people, and the only way you escape is you have to kill somebody. So naturally, you spend the game locked in a school trying to figure out what's happening on the outside of the world, while also trying to learn why people who you thought you were close with are killing one another, and are you going to be killed at all? Monokuma is still one of the best antagonists in a video game ever, and it's well worth the ride alone for, in my opinion, this one's a little controversial, but V3, the ending to that game blew my mind more than any other title I have played since BioShock Infinite. And that one had a pretty mind-twisting ending, right? So that's what I'm trying to tell everybody, is it's not only worth it to play each game because they're all incredible on their own rights, but also because V3 is one of the most rewarding narrative experiences I have had. Have you noticed that? I'm saying ever, and I have had, and the best of all time. Like, this game series is top tier, and I simply cannot plead enough for people to give it a chance. I feel like that's the duty of a Danganronpa fan, because you just know it's underappreciated, you know it's the game people scroll by and don't give a chance, and you know how amazing it is, and it's your job to tell people, here's why you should get it. So I'm just doing my part here. Give Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc a chance for $10. Thank me later. I promise you. You'll like it if you love good writing, storytelling, and you might think, visual novel, not my speed. So many people that have tried these games and are only into shooters or only into MOBAs, and the list goes on, actually love Danganronpa because it's just an amazing story, and they have incredibly interesting characters and a unique premise. Trust me, just give it a chance. Also, since I am trying really hard to convince you, maybe you have decided to give it a chance, just keep in mind you can only start with Trigger Happy Havoc. Do not start with 2 or V3. Start with the first one, play the second one, play the third one. Best way to play it, only way to play it. Celeste for $16. Now, that is one I'm personally going to pick up based off a lot of the talk I've heard about this game. I heard it kind of connects mental health to platforming and overcoming challenges and has a really endearing story almost. It won a ton of awards at the Game Awards, so it really has my attention. So any discount on this game, I am taking full advantage of. $16 for what seems to be one of the best games of 2018. I can't speak from personal experience, but based off a lot of what I've seen, if you like 2D platformers with a good challenge that are pixel perfect, this seems up the alley of those types of people, and also it comes with an amazing story to boot, so I'm definitely scooping this one up personally. Shovel Knight Treasure Trove for $20. Now, once again, this is another game that is a side scroller that's kind of pixel perfect, but this is a classic action adventure game, pretty much heralding back to like the NES days. So whether you were familiar with them or not, this is one of those games that should be experienced, at least to get a taste of what gaming was like back then. And also, Treasure Trove comes with a ton of bonus content that I had no idea was out. They have a multiplayer mode now, they have additional campaigns and courses that you can run through. It's no longer just the base game that I had personally played on the PS Vita for Shovel Knight, but Treasure Trove adds so much to it. This 8-bit retro style game is something I've had a hankering for after I played The Messenger, which is another title I really adored. This seems right up my alley as I've been looking for more, and I didn't know there was more content for it. I can attest that the original Shovel Knight is a fantastic piece of art, but also incredibly fun to play. I mean, you're a guy with a shovel and you're digging stuff up, getting treasure, buying upgrades, buying soundtracks and all that stuff. It's a blast, man. $20 for all of that content? Steal. But that'll do it for me in the terms of recommendations. I hope all of these suggestions help you, and maybe you take me up on one of them. If you do, let me know in the comments down below. Other than that, be sure to follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. Those links are in the description down below, along with my Patreon. Do consider supporting that, as it fuels all the content I create here. Stay sexy, stay active, I love you all. Peace.